Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm the Strategy Professor, and today we're going to be starting a brand new campaign with Isabella von Karstein in Warhammer 3. So, as always, if you enjoy the content, please be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out a ton on the channel. If you'd like to sponsor a campaign yourself, just email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com. Let me know what you have in mind. We can make it happen. And other than that, let's go ahead and get in here. So, Isabella was probably my favorite and most played ward in Warhammer 2. I just like the aesthetic. Just kind of the vibe, and she's really strong, and I like the playstyle. She's super aggressive early on, and I think that a lot of changes in Warhammer 3 are going to help out with that as well. So there have been several changes, so it should still feel fresh, and in the area around Isabella, there's a lot more than just kind of Empire fodder. There's still some of that, for sure. But there are other factions. There's greenskins up there now. There's wood elves in the area now. There's just all kinds of other factions that can kind of jump in and get involved. So there'll be a little bit more variety. Okay. Now, some stuff has been nerfed. I think some of her most powerful things have been nerfed, actually. But they've diversified her and the vampire counts in general to make many more things possible, which I think is great. So what have they done? Well, you still get one Blood Kiss. These aren't as strong as they used to be, but we'll talk about that when we get in there. You get the Castle Tracking-Off building, not as strong as it used to be. We'll talk about it. It's still good. +3 capacity for vampires. Still really strong. Starts with Vlad as a legendary hero. Now, this is something that changed between these two because it was kind of an odd mechanic in Warhammer 2 where they needed to be in the same battle and they got these bonuses. But then, obviously, if you have things like Lightning Strike, which you need later on in the game, or you just want to split your armies up to go cover more territory, then it got a little weird. So, they give you Vlad for free as a hero at the start, and if you pick Vlad, then they give you Isabella for free. So, well, you still have to pay to upkeep on them. But that's really strong, because now you can much more comfortably have both of them in the same fight without these kind of weird interactions, and it still makes sense kind of lore-wise. So that's really strong, because you start off with Vlad, and you still get the vampire, so you get 2 heroes, and you have a pretty decent starting army as well. And then plus 25% weapon strength for embedded vampires, and that's faction-wide, so that's going to be really strong. Now, your healing cap is plus 50% when you have Vlad in your army. So they implemented this, I think, somewhere in Warhammer 2, but now there's not infinite healing with the vampires, so that's obviously a nerf from where they used to be. They're practically unbeatable in really long fights because of their healing. But now there are different mechanics that can increase your healing cap, so that's good. And there are some things that reduce the healing cap that some enemy lords can do. And then you get plus 10 melee attack and plus 10 melee defense. So that's the same as it was, really strong with vampires in your army. Okay, and let's go Ultimate Crisis mode. We're probably not going to, hopefully we'll win by then, but let's go ahead and go. So, why do I like the vampire counts overall? The more I've played this game, I really like alternate recruitment factions, whether that's a horde faction where you can carry all your buildings around with you and just recruit it almost instantly, or the Raise Dead mechanic with Vampire Counts and Vampire Coast. I might play Vampire Coast after this, we'll see. I don't know if that's going to be too many vampires in a row, but they look really cool too, and I almost did that, but then I went back and looked at Isabella again, and I was like, nah, I want to try this again with some of these changes. And then we'll do probably Aranessa. Looks pretty cool. But they actually have Raised Dead, and they are basically a horde faction that has their shipbuilding mechanic. So, I just really like factions like that where you can be on the move and still recruit while you're being aggressive. I don't like where the traditional, it takes a lot of growth, and you have to wait, 12 turns to level up your main town to tier 3, and then you have to, spend the turns recruiting your units and then run them out to your army that's already, probably 3 provinces away. It's just really awkward. Or factions that have a really robust global recruitment system. So like the Chaos Dwarves, there are several things they can get that allow for faster global recruitment, and I think the Wood Elves have that too. So with vampires, we are going to have the Raised Dead. Sometimes this has felt sort of OP. It depends. Sometimes they give you like tier 4 or 5 units like early on. Hopefully they fix that glitch and it's like appropriate. I think it should be based on your character's level, the kinds of things that you have an opportunity to raise dead. So hopefully they've changed it to that. So like, if she gets to level 20 or something like that, then maybe she could have an opportunity, you know, to raise like a tier 4 unit. Shouldn't be happening on turn 1 or 2. She's already strong enough without all that. But if it does happen, I mean, we'll take it. Okay, so what's up with Isabella? They have changed a few things around here. Let me show you that, and then we'll get right into some fights. So Vlad starts off with his 2 legendary items as well, which is very strong. You get extra vampiric corruption. Even more vampiric corruption, so you're getting 8. You get recruitment, just a bunch of stuff that helps your combat viability. You get extra healing off the Blood Drinker, and then the Karstein Ring gives you some damage mitigation, ward save, extra replenishment for your army. So lots of pretty good things. And then hers, now this fight is pretty hard to get this if it's still that Beastman fight, which I assume it is. It is pretty strong. Now you can actually heal other people. I think it was just her in the past. I'm not 100% about that. But that's a lot of healing. That's... God, I don't even know. That's like 40% healing or something on somebody. So it's a very good item. It's just kind of a challenging fight. You want to make sure you're ready for it. As far as her normal skills, they gave her Queen Bee. I think this used to be on one of the legendary heroes you can get with the Blood Kiss. But that reduces hero action cost by 50% in a certain area. And then the hero action success chance is up 50%, and enemy success chance is up 50% as well. Now, you get Blood Kisses, killing faction leaders, vassalizing factions, or, okay, you can assassinate enemy heroes and get Blood Kisses as well. So, Queen Bee is going to be a really strong combination with that. I think it's the Banshees that have the assassinate ability. Yes. So we do want to try to get these Banshees going, because that's going to help us out with our Blood Kiss generation. Again, the Blood Kisses aren't as strong as they used to be, but they're still there. I might as well, since I brought it up, we'll just go ahead and show you the Blood Kiss. So she used to be on the far left, and she was the one that... It was something like hero upkeep was reduced by 50% or something, so it made your vampires almost free. So you could have an army of, like, back in the day, like 6 vampires with Isabella early on at, like, you're only paying 20% upkeep, because Isabella also had a trait that reduced the upkeep of them by a lot. So they've taken that away, because that was OP. Now you get character experience gain plus 20%. Not nearly as good. Diplomatic relations, who cares? We're going to kill them all anyways. And then line of sight, which is cool, but 12 kisses is a lot. You got to remember, this stacks, like, multiplicatively. So it is far cheaper just to get, like, tier 1 things than it is to go all the way up to tier 3. Tier 3 is, like, a really late game thing. Now, this is probably the best one, and this was pretty good before. You get 10% replenishment. You get Sylvanian Crossbowmen, which aren't great, but if you just need to hire some stuff, they are basically like little regiments of renown you can hire anywhere, so that's useful. And then plus 5 control all provinces. This is good. Public Order's not as big of a deal in Warhammer 3 because it's much, much easier to spread the corruption than it was in Warhammer 2 with vampires, which has helped them out tremendously. Now they can expand much, much faster. Because before, that was really one of the main limiting factors of vampire counts, is that you took some severe penalties if you didn't have enough corruption in an area. And corruption was like a percentage of total competing corruptions in a province. It was really confusing if you never played Warhammer 2. But basically, you can expand a lot faster, so this isn't as necessary, but it's still helpful. And then you get handgunners at tier 3, which is kind of garbage. Again, it's like crossbowmen, except instead of paying 3 for it and getting replenishment, you're paying 6 just for handgunners. So that's really hit or miss. This guy, 10% for cavalry. Your tier 5 cavalry is pretty good. There is better cavalry in the game now, quite a few. It was the best cavalry in the game way, way back in Warhammer 1. Not so anymore, but that's still okay. Unit experience per turn plus 100. It's not that great. It's basically every 10 turns you get 1 chevron on a unit. And then you get +2 capacity for Blood Knights. Now, I don't know how often that shows up in provinces, but if that makes every province an extra capacity for +2 Blood Knights, that's pretty good. That means you could get them almost everywhere. So, we might try him out at some point. And then this dude, research rate. Now, he's pretty weak. These two have quite a bit of armor, and they're good fighters. That's another thing, is the Lord themselves. I think this guy specializes in beasts, like Vargeist, Vargulfs, that type of stuff, and those units are really good in the mid-game. So, he's powerful, I'm pretty sure. I don't know that. I assume this guy specializes in cavalry. She specializes in, like, hero actions. She might have Queen Bee as well. I'm not sure, but now that Isabella has it, she's a little bit less valuable. I think she has, like, okay armor. She's like a vampire, pretty much. I mean, I guess they're all kind of vampires, but this guy, I think, has pretty low armor, so he's not a great fighter. He does have some useful magic, but I just don't remember exactly what he does. Research rate, 25% is pretty good. They changed around a lot of the research, which is strong. Winds of Magic Power Reserve +15. That's weaker than it used to be. I think you just got straight up, like, +20 magic with him before at the start of the fight. And then upkeep reduction, obviously very good, but again, it's going to take 12 kisses to get to that. And then this guy's sort of whatever. Raised Dead, Crypt Ghouls are okay. If it was Crypt Horrors, it'd be a little bit better. Ambush chance, we're not going to be ambushing very often. We're just going to be going hard, attacking. Corruption, again, this was very powerful in Warhammer 2 because corruption was harder to come by. Now, not as powerful. We're going to have 1 million corruption anyways. It's cool, but it's not as good as other options. And this, you get Crypt Horrors at tier 3, which is, Crypt Horrors are okay, but by the time you get to tier 3, it's a little late to the party. Okay, and then Tex, and then we'll get a fight here. As far as she goes, sorry, I kind of got sidetracked with her. You have Queen Bee. They did lower the leadership on a lot of units, so we'll see how that pans out. That makes stuff like Dark Pact stronger. Now, this used to be +10, I'm pretty sure. Now it's +5. So they've increased kind of healing for vampires in a lot of different ways, but they have a lot less leadership, so it's more likely that more of them are going to die in combat and need to use that Dead Rise again, which they just nerfed a patch or two ago. Okay, so she gets, like, different bonuses to beasts, which is pretty cool. The dogs, the 5, and the hunger, like, that's pretty good early game. Obviously not amazing late game. Extra vampires, corruption, hero action cost -33%. That's pretty good. Vigor loss is huge for your own army. Stormy Knight. She and Vlad both have this, and it just completely claps Flying Lords. It slows their speed and does a lot of damage. They can each do it 3 times per fight. So they are really, really good at killing enemy lords and heroes, especially ones that are flying. And they both get flying later on. So they have very nice air superiority. And then you get extra speed, Wayfarer, which is like a much better Strider, and then discouraged attacks. And that's for own army, pretty much all your flying units and your wolves. Okay, then you have the Hunger, which is good, Invocation of Heck. Aura of Supremacy is character leadership 5 and enemy leadership -4. So that's actually pretty good because we're fighting against a lot of other vampires and humans early on. So the -4 leadership's pretty substantial. And then I think she also has something else that gives out like -4 leadership. I thought. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe it's Vlad that has that. But anyways, leadership penalties are very good. And then Restless Dead, one of the biggest changes they made here is they changed this tree completely. So it's no longer you get an extra vampire at tier 2, which is what it used to be. And that's how you got just 1 billion vampires early on. Now it is upkeep reduction 9%, which is still good, and character experience gain +30%. So it's still really good, just for different reasons, and it's not quite as absurdly OP as it used to be. As far as magic, she has some shadow magic stuff. She has the Penumbral Pendulum, which is decent, but she's our main lord, so we probably don't want to be getting magic with her. And then she has Occam's Razor. I will say Vlad starts off with Flock of Doom, which is crazy. I don't know if he usually had that or not. I never played Vlad. But that's incredibly strong early game against vampires and humans. It is a lot of damage. So it's, you know, whatever that number is, like 1,000 something damage on average. But so it's kind of like the Mystifying Miasma for Shadow, but it's AoE. So it affects everybody. And it has 300 range. So you can like open fights with it while they're running towards you very easily. So incredibly powerful spell. And then he eventually gets Transformation of Kadan, which for vampires gives you, I believe it's a Vargulf instead of a Manticore, which is a great trade. Manticore or Vargulf is way stronger. So that's really good. And then he has some stuff too that's useful. We'll get there. I don't want to spend too much time. I've already spent a lot of time talking early on. Let's do a fight, and then we'll talk about the tags. I think we're just gonna a decent little army. I kind of only want the skeletons though. Zombies are not ideal, unless you're one of the zombie guy. I forgot his name, but then they're really good. But with this, unless you're just kind of in a hard spot, I would just rather pay up a little bit for the skeletons. I mean, skeletons are still not like insane without their buffs. But the fact that they have 20 armor and 22 melee defense versus zombies are just like absurdly bad. 5 melee attacks, 6 defense. And they don't even count as disposable or whatever either. So if your zombies die, it causes leadership penalties to other people. So that's kind of weird. It feels like they should be disposable or whatever that debuff is called. They do have a lot more HP, but okay. I think this is all we need to do here. Yeah. Oh, we're going to lose a Graveguard? I don't think so. Alright. Expendable, I think is what it is. I feel like a lot of these meat shield low units, why would they not be expendable? Like, that's their entire purpose, is to go in there and just soak, you know, soak stuff. Like, why would the vampires care if they die? Why would they be spooked if their meat shield units died? Maybe they thought it was too strong. Okay, so these are kind of tactically the same. And we get a black coach. Now, I'm hoping this unit isn't as garbage as it used to be. They did change it somewhat. It does have quite a bit of HP, but now it's based on how many kills it has in a fight in order to unlock these things. So it's not something that you have to like keep clicking on, so that's a little bit less micro. Now, it only has 36 leadership. For real? Oh my god. So I'm still not expecting amazing things out of this, but we'll see. Now, one thing about the vampires, though, they do have a lot of healing, but they look like they have very low HP for a lot of lords. Even when they get their mounts, like, they still only have, like, 4,000 or 5,000 HP. Now, they do have pretty good armor, but that's just something to be aware of. And with Vlad, you have Vanguard on everybody, so that's really, really nice, because your units are very slow. So yeah, I mean, I think they're in the running for one of the strongest starting lords. Other than like the Mortis Engine type of factions are really good too. So like the Nurgle unit, all of that. Okay, we're good. Disable all alarms. Okay. Where's their lord? Is he hiding in the trees over here, I'm assuming? It's kind of a wimpy charge there, but... Let me go ahead and... These things are taking quite a bit of damage. Okay, so it just kind of like pushes through. They gotta just keep microing it, I suppose. How many kills does it have? Not that much. Yeah, still not like super impressed. Vargulf is great because he just kind of heals. I mean, he hasn't put up that much damage, but vampires, as you can see, are quite proficient at killing lords. I mean, it did take a little bit to kill them, but... Alright, got him. So yeah, these Graveguard were hacking them up. I'm pretty sure Graveguard got buffed, so they got moved to tier 3, all of them. And I think they have higher weapon strength. They have 40 weapon strength now. Maybe they had that before. But they seem pretty good. So you get experience, replenishment, or gold. Pretty standard. We're going to take the gold vast majority of the time. Experience is just a trap. Like, for that whole fight, now that's just Isabella, got 1,500 experience. Like, how much experience did someone who got a reasonable amount of kills here? Like, these Graveguard, does it say how much? It says damage dealt. Okay, so it does not say the experience, but I'm just telling you, like, 100 is pretty low. Like, the entire, like, experience bonus mechanics, pretty bad. Okay. Like, the numbers are just too low. Most of the time. Okay. So here's kind of their building tree. So this is the awesome building you can get level 1. Lets you get vampires at tier 1. You get 1 extra capacity. You get rank, and the recruitment cost is minus 70%. So, insanely powerful building, tier 1. And you have a gold mine. So... I think we just get rid of this building, and then they lowered the cost on a lot of vampire stuff too. Like, these buildings used to be like almost 4,000 gold each. This one still is, but a lot of them used to be like 4,000 versus now they're like 2,500, which is really nice. And like the entry level ones are 750. I think the entry ones were pretty cheap before, but that just, vampires did not have amazing defense, and so it was really hard to justify building up any towns, because if you got sacked, it was just really bad. And you have raised dead, so you really don't need recruitment. And that's still true. We probably won't build a lot of recruitment things, but it's a little nicer that in our main town we can build some of these higher recruitment things we want. They did move the Black Coach down to tier 3, so I do think that's a bit more appropriate. Tier 5 was ridiculous because chariots are just almost always underwhelming, except for like the best of the best, or if they're extremely cheap. Like with Tomb Kings. They changed the gibbet. Now it's crazy value. I think it used to be 1,000 and gave like 100 gold. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But 500, giving you 250 plus 1 control. That's one of the best tier 1 gold buildings in the game. And you can get some nice bonuses for it. So that's really good. You don't need this anymore, the extra corruption. You know, like I said, it's so easy to spread corruption now. This is really kind of just a relic of the past. Vampires were the first things, I guess. Warriors of Chaos, old school Warriors of Chaos had corruption too, but like vampires were the first ones that really had to deal with it. So this is just unnecessary. most of the time. And then you have a growth building, which is kind of whatever. Now, this is how you get extra necromancers and +1 recruitment capacity if you need that. Again, probably using mostly raised dead, but that's there if you need it. Other notable things they moved around, like I said, they moved the Grave Guard up here, including this, and they got rid of the Armory. That's amazing. Please, I was going to say Riot, but CA, remove the Armory requirement for Empire. They have such interesting, diverse units you could get, but that stupid Armory building is so expensive and takes up a slot. Get rid of it. No one wants it. They're already not that strong. It's fine. So they finally listened. I don't think they actually listened to me. I'm not that presumptuous. But they finally got rid of the Armory building, thank God. So now you don't need a bonus building for these. That's probably some of their justification why they moved the Grave Guard up a little bit as well. But it's a pretty good unit. It's got 90 armor, a lot of HP, pretty reasonable defense at 36, and I think it's +8 versus infantry, so that's like 34, and then does almost 48 damage. That's nice. I would almost always do the great weapons because they get +12 versus infantry, +13. So that's 39 melee attack and 55 damage, and almost all of its armor piercing. So this is actually pretty respectable now. At tier 3. They also added in the Morn Ghouls, which are just a way better version of the Crypt Horrors. They deal like 50 more damage versus infantry. They're a similar cost. They're like 50 more gold. But these are really good. These come from Vampire Coast. They also have 30% missile resistance, which is handy. Vanguard deployment, all that. Vargeist are tier 3. I think they've been there for a while. They used to be tier 4. They're pretty good. Low armor, but great kind of shock and air superiority units. They moved the Crypt Horrors down to tier 2. I think they've been there for a while. That's a really powerful tier 2 unit. Will be replaced again because, you know, they got these Morghuls now. But other than that, still good. They moved these Barded Knights up to tier 4. I don't remember if they're always tier 4, but that's kind of silly. Varghulfs, I think they were tier 3 at one point. They moved them back to tier 4. It's okay. They're not that great. Only 290 weapon damage, 45 leadership, low armor. They are strong, but I don't know. I feel like tier 3 would be okay. These really shouldn't be tier 4, but they are. So some of the tier 4 is not insane. One thing that is insane, though, is the Mortis engine. They moved it from tier 5 down to tier 4. Amazing at completely destroying infantry. It has the Mortis engine effect that it's named after. What is it called officially? Reliquary of Corruption. That's 16 to 32 damage per second for everything around you. Obviously very strong, but then it gives you extra Winds of Magic recharge rate, which is good. And it heals all of your units, which is really good. So it's just the quintessential, one of the best support pieces in the game. Has a lot of HP, reasonable armor, is going to get focus fired by missile units a lot, but it personally has regeneration as well. So incredibly, incredibly powerful unit. And they moved the Terrorgeist up to tier 5, which is probably okay. Like, they do have very, very good anti-large capabilities. And the Blood Knights, of course, are still tier 5, which is questionable. I feel like they should almost be tier 4 with how strong some of the other cavalry are in the game. But anyways, okay, let's keep going. As far as this goes, you just want to get to technology. This ASAP, you need that 5 leadership because you've taken such huge leadership hits on all your other units. So we want to get that early, and then you probably want to go over and get this Blood Kiss second. The growth is also nice. And then some of the things to look for, it just kind of depends. This is your, like, basically your money and sort of campaign map buff stuff. So you get income from repression buildings. That's the Gibbet. That's the thing that gives 250 per. You're going to have one of these in every province. That's incredibly strong. That's a lot of extra gold. It's 50 extra gold per turn for each town that you have, basically. And then income from cities. Cities also give you a lot. I think it's like 200 with vampire counts, which is insane. So extra money from cities and growth is also really good. Corruption, don't need it as much. It's nice, but not as necessary as it used to be. Allegiance points is kind of whatever. We're probably just going to kill everybody and infiltrate houses. So a lot of this stuff, not amazing. Like maybe for certain strategies later on. But these first like 3 are incredibly good. And then over here, this is stuff that I recommend early on. You can get because it buffs up your garbage units, and because their stats are so low baseline that any sort of buff is a massive percentage gain in combat effectiveness. And they're so cheap too. So if you want secondary armies, and we're going to get a lot of these bonus lords from kisses, then you want this. So this is just like for zombies early on. I feel like it's not that great, except for the zombie lord, just because they're so incredibly weak at the start. Like, it's nice. It is good. But the problem is the skeletons are just better. So you get 5 extra melee defense, and then over here, recruitment cost for skeleton stuff, 10% weapon strength is kind of whatever. They don't deal a lot of damage. But the extra 10 armor is a big deal, and 25% upkeep reduction is a big deal. And then you get perfect vigor for them as well. And you get extra raised dead capacity, which is sort of whatever. But the perfect vigor is very nice. So, I don't know. I mean, like, the zombies, the 20% physical resist is very nice. And the healing cap is very nice. But we'll see. Okay, and then this stuff is like your business units, your beast units, your damage dealers are going to get some buffs. So like extra melee attack and weapon strength for Karen rates and those dudes is fine. And then Crypt Horror bonuses here. Now this 50% extra healing and gives them double healing because it gives them the hunger and they have regeneration. That might be a reason to go Crypt Horrors, because that's going to make them a lot better defensively than the Morn Ghouls. But I don't know, the Morn Ghouls might still be better. And then overall, this thing is still pretty good. Tireless Hordes, 10% campaign movement range. And then this 5 leadership. It's been nerfed. It used to be 10 leadership. But it also gives you 15% missile resist, which is good. Okay, let's get some more fights in here. Sorry, first episode, I just like to lay everything out just so everybody can kind of see where I'm going, just in case you want to play along and do your own thing. I think you have to get this first. The leadership is huge. And then after that, we'll probably go Blue Tree for a little while. Although I will say Red Tree is pretty nice. On most other lords, we'll probably go Red Tree first, because 8/8 on skeletons is actually quite good. Again, because their baseline is so low. And then with her, I think we're going to get utility to start with. Death Magic is not amazing. It's good. It is good. I'd say it's an above average magic school. It's just the vampire magic, I believe, is better, probably. Probably just get replenished troops. Although I will say, Immortal Will healing is very good, and Augury is quite nice. It's +9 leadership for everything around you, and you also get Dark Benediction, which is an additional +8 leadership. So you get like 17, +17 leadership, which your units desperately need that. But we'll start off with replenishment. Always a fan favorite. And then with him, I feel like we want the Nahek magic so we can overcast that. It's very, and then Flock of Doom. Now, I don't know if we're going to use Flock of Doom over just the Nahek magic. But, because the Nahek magic is just so incredibly strong. But there is a healing cap, so there's a limit on that. But yeah, we'll kind of make him our caster early on, because he has his transformation of Kadan, which is really good too. Okay, and now we're on their property. Or, yeah, it's counted as the same province, I guess. Okay. So we're just going to go ahead and take this. What are his actions? Damage walls. Okay. That's not worth ever. You're always going to want him in your army. I wish it would show, like, on the bar, not only if your unit died, but how much damage your units are going to take. Because I don't want to take... our healing's not that high yet. I guess we'll fight it. Our replenishment's not insane just yet. Let me look outside. Actually, that alarm was because I have a hose filling up my pool, so I just want to make sure it's not overflowing. Nah, we're good. Okay.
Isabella von Karstein,
Lord of the Dead.
vampire.
I guess we're gonna just go over here. Man, that Vanguard is very, very nice though, because you're so slow. It's like one of the only major drawbacks is like most of your units are like super slow. As vampires. Which kind of makes sense. It is kind of like, they did make it a lot easier, level 1. I mean, I pretty much always won the Castle Drakenhof fight, but I think there are a lot of players that would struggle with that early. Alright, sure, let's go. What are we doing? Let's fight.
End them! We rule the night!
Alright, let's move this around a little bit here.
We surpass Nagash!
With haste!
Let me get some of these units up here around a little bit more.
Isabella! For
Fight!
bring death!
Blood von Karstein! Kill!
Yes! Bring death!
Alright, that terror is nice.
Very well.
Alright, I think they're basically done.
All shall perish.
So we took a little bit of hit on a couple of our units. It takes a while to hack through all of those zombies and skeletons. Okay, miscast chance down is nice. I mean, it's not like an amazing item, but... And we just want to occupy most of this stuff. They have nerf sacking and looting. Or like, sack and then occupy. Oh! Nice, it's just... Oh, they changed the configuration. Okay. I was like, it used to be Waldenhof, but now it's a different thing. Okay. So we want to upgrade that. And then I don't think we even need to recruit. Growth and construction, control. What are we building? We're building a gold mine next turn, so I guess we'll do that. Province-wide. Okay, I thought that said faction-wide for a second. I was like, what? Okay. Eshin, what does the wine do? It's just control, right? Yeah, and tradable. What was that lord thing I clicked on an accident? I don't know why it's showing him, because he's... Oh, it's bugged? This legendary lord unlocks after 1 turn. Okay, guess it's bugged. Okay, so our replenishment's still pretty good. Go with that. And then... do we need to recruit? I feel like we're strong. I mean, we could get some of these skeleton warriors. I kind of like these better, because it does give you some anti-large. That is a weakness, is you don't have very much anti-large. Like, ever. Until you get to tier 5. But you kind of, I mean, you're already really good against enemy lords with all your different debuffs and magic and things, so... do we need it? I mean, the gold building is going to cost... oh, it's only 500. God, that's such a good bargain. How strong is Templehoff? Yeah, they're done. Yeah, we got them. I don't think we need to hire anything else. How much? So those are 100. These are 90. So it's a little bit more to raise dead some things right now than to just flat hire them. I mean, there are going to be some factions where we... like, once we clean this guy out, we probably will want some more skeletons, but... I mean, I don't know. Like, these are... triple the cost. In theory, yes, it is only 50 more gold for this, but... that does add up over a bunch of armies. Like, I feel like we have enough meat here. We've got, like, these guys can definitely hold the line. I think I'll wait. Okay, and then diplomatically... oh, Musion and Barrow Legion already like us. Sort of. Okay, and those dudes are done. Why do these guys like us? Oh, because we're killing Templehoff. Okay. Alright, I think that's all we need here. Did we start with a kiss? Did we not kill their main guy? I thought we were supposed to get a kiss. Or is it just eliminating a faction? I thought it was killing a faction leader. Maybe I haven't killed the leader yet. More Glaive of Woe. Okay. I think we go for the main place first while they're weakened. Okay. And again, I kind of just want to get to the extra leadership buffs. It's like the magic is nice, but we already have pretty good magic.
Countess of Sylvania.
Okay, and then I think we just do Upgraded Nahek first. It's other vampires. It feels like healing your own stuff is probably better.
Isabella.
Alright. Ooh, so now we're getting chances of this other stuff. Like, this is pretty strong. At least they didn't give us one early, but like, if we were to get... I mean, these aren't like turbo OP. They are kind of expensive, but they are tier 3. Does it say what it takes? Each unit card's tooltip. Does it say it? Unit pools will replenish based on factors stated on each unit. Doesn't say the factor. Like, it'd be cool if it said why you're able to get such and such. I know if there's a big battle, has like a special battle marker, then there's a chance you get better things. Ghouls are pretty good. They're like damage dealers though. They don't have any armor. I mean, I guess skeletons don't have much either. They do have poison, which reduces damage by 15%, but they have a lot less HP. Melee defense is 25. They are better, but it's really they have like 2,000 less HP, so it just feels like they get clapped. And you can get an extra, you know, 10 armor on the skeletons eventually. Alright.
All shall perish. Such arrogance.
No.
Oh, God.
Such a thing is impossible.
So they have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 units.
You need me? Isabella.
Okay, I mean, I guess we just grab everything. Maybe I how much movement do I have? Do I have enough to step back over here, buy up the bar, and then... I don't know, it's close. I have to run through this little bit of jungle.
Let us
Maybe I was a little too confident. I mean, we just killed him.
Cease.
Like, almost everything they had.
speak.
Alright, let's just try this. Now, I don't know if it's going to let them, we don't even have enough for a siege tower. I was gonna say, if I siege them, I don't know if they're still gonna be allowed to raise dead. I know you can't recruit. So, like, I could raise dead, I'm pretty sure, while they siege. I mean, we should be able to kill this dude. These all have door breaker. Those two do. She probably does not. Varkulf does. I mean, I could use the coach and the Vargulf to go capture points, potentially in the city. We don't have that much capture. This is where I really wish I had some wolves. I don't think we've had an opportunity to hire wolves yet. Just been all zombies. Black Knights kind of throw a little bit of a wrench in that plan. They also have wolves. The question is, do I just siege them out? I think it's going to take too many turns. Let me, oh, I could just auto-resolve it. I kind of like that. This is gonna take forever. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna win. Like, we just kill their lord. And I'm just losing the crypt ghouls, which aren't that bad. And we have really high replenishment anyways. So, yeah, I'll just go ahead and... I'm fine with that. It looks like they might dead rise again and get these back anyways. That's probably pretty accurate. I think I'd take a lot of casualties, but we're just going to replenish anyways. They don't have another army. There's like not another threat on me. So I think that's fine. Low amount of dark magic. Income from vampire crypts. Okay.
Join me for dinner.
We don't need that. We just want the money buildings. Yeah, it's okay, it's only 100 gold per building. That's still really good. Main town. I think that's pretty standard with most factions. Seems like it's 100 growth, and then 2 vampiric corruption is nice. I don't know if we obviously get 10 control, and then Dead Rise again, get a little bit more. Okay, yeah, so I'll take that. Okay, and then I guess because stuff died here, then now it's got Grave Guard. Maybe it's just dependent on the total gold value of units that died in a province.
You need me? Bow, mortal.
Okay, so we probably just want this. Although, this is pretty good too. Plus 15% hit points. I think percentage chance that you get them back is probably more important, but... yeah, Immortal Horror is also nice. The healing cap is a big deal. Lightning Strike is a big deal. Yeah, I think we gotta go Blue Tree.
Descendant of
And then for her... leadership size, because we're gonna have that huge leadership buff.
his lady.
With Augury and the other thing. Does he also get Augury? He does not. He has other stuff. Okay. But with him, this heals everybody for, what, 0.35? So if they have 10,000 HP, it's 350. I mean, it's not amazing, but it's okay. Raise Dead just to grab extra things is actually pretty decent if it's cheap enough. I don't remember how much it is. It's pretty cheap. And then War Master does not affect Raise Dead. Does affect Nehikara. Flock, I mean, I don't know. Maybe Flock is not necessary. It is an incredibly powerful spell, though. But maybe the healing is just better. How much is the healing? It's like... overcasted. I don't remember if it's 30 seconds. It's a lot on, let's just say we hit 4 units with it. I guess if I hovered, it'll tell me. No, it's the same amount. It's 18 seconds. It just hits multiple targets. But that's still like 14% healing. If you hit 4 targets, if they have like 10,000 HP, that's 1,400. That's like 5,600 healing effectively. And then that healing, in order for them to do damage to that, then it has to go through armor and, you know, melee defense and all this other stuff. So I feel like healing is just way stronger. There is a cap, again, but... and we can just use these as kind of meat shields. I guess we'll go with that. Okay, and then do we want to hire... we kind of did get clapped there a little bit. Pretty sure that's like, that's it, right? Like nothing else, yeah. Okay. Did we get a kiss? Okay, so that was their legendary lord. I still think we finish this one first, then we go for the kiss, because we don't have enough gold for another army just yet.
Countess of
For our legendary lord. Okay, over here, gold. Easy pickup. Gonna do a gold building here. Eshin. I should have gotten rid of this last turn. I was just talking too much and forgot. I should have gotten rid of that and put a gold building there. And then here, I'm probably okay with growth. Growth is kind of low, though. I mean, it's okay. At tier 3, we do get the gold buildings. We do get an extra gibbet. It is pretty defensible. It's a pretty good area for defense. Yeah, I think going to tier 3 is fine. And then we get Banshee. We get Cairn Rates, which are pretty good. Yeah, we get access to several pretty good things at tier 3. Like having 1 or 2 Cairn Rates is a good kind of flanking unit. Because of the terror. This is pretty good too. I wish the rates had perfect vigor. But I guess we'll greed out. Just wait a second, because cleaning this guy up is really not going to take that long. It does feel a little greedy. We'll just get 2 more skeletons. Okay, and then nothing has changed here. Clan Creepus? The hell? Well, they're about to die. Oh, that must be these guys. The elves are fighting him.
Warpstone? Did you say Warpstone? Maybe we can do a deal.
That's gonna make those guys mad. I don't think so. Even if they vassal me.
Now!
All right. So yeah, it's like we could have gotten free gold off of them, but yeah, I think the leadership's definitely worth, and then here, Kiss plus growth is probably where we want to be next.
I refuse.
Let's see how much they're gonna... Okay, so he just bought up the bar. Hopefully he didn't get anything that good.
Do not.
Actually, he didn't. Where did the bar go? I didn't... Oh, I guess I bought up everything last turn and we just got 1 zombie back. Alright. Skeletons are still only 20%. That's interesting. We don't lose anything, so I'm just gonna... Should be able to replenish. Alright. And then I think that's where we'll go ahead and stop for this episode, so we will be able to recruit, and we'll decide if we want shadows or death. I forgot vampires heroes don't have vampire magic for some reason. I'm not sure which one will be better. I'll have to think about it. That's kind of a tough call. I think historically I have considered death better, and that might still be the case. We'll see. Like, Miasma's really good. Their Vortex is pretty good with shadows. But Death, the leadership break, the -16 leadership is huge. And then Fate of Buna just helps you deal with, like, elite, especially cavalry type of units where we don't have a lot of, you know, good answers to that. Can be a game changer. So we will we'll figure that out next time. But anyways, that's going to be it. Hope you enjoyed it. We're probably just going to go over here, finish off Waldenhof, and then we will just go from there and see what we can get into. But anyways, thanks, have a good day, and I'll see you next time.